I'm sorry guys, I guess we can actually kind of start this video on a little bit of a lighter note and I can actually smile here. I just saw a video of this white female cop who was having a mental breakdown because she didn't receive her McMuffin at McDonald's. She only received her coffee, and she feels as though it was because she was a cop, and that, people just need to have a heart at this time because, they're going through a lot. And it's just crazy because, like, I can't imagine, being mistreated because of my occupation, or, like, even worse, dying because of the color of my skin. So crazy. I mean, you black people wouldn't know anything about that, right? But anyways, I gotten some good feedback already about the last video I uploaded, and you guys really appreciated how vulnerable I was. I know I don't really do that a lot on camera. So I've actually filmed this video one time before, and I was talking about why white silence, and pretty much in the beginning when this all started happening, angered me so much personally, but also how I've just learned going forward to not focus on it so much and to put my energy elsewhere. I'm going to try not to make this video too long, but just basically between middle school and high school, I definitely started developing self-hate. I was not proud to be a black woman. I think even in a sense, like I said, I was ashamed of it. I never wanted my hair to be curly. I always wanted my hair to be straight. I definitely felt like I was a black girl growing up in a white world. I went to school with a lot of people that were non-black and white, and just thinking about the experiences that me and my black friends went through and just reminiscing and dissecting them, it's like, were those comments and were those jokes appropriate? Were they borderline racist? And at the time in school, obviously in history class, I was not really being taught in depth about black culture and about what my people have done for just in general for this country. In history books, I don't feel like they tell you flat out that this country was built on slavery and that it was built on our ancestors' back. No one comes right out and say that. They will tell you about Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, briefly tell you about Malcolm X, because God forbid we really dive deep into what Malcolm X tried to explain to us. And of course, our black inventors and things like that. But I have learned more from the internet and Twitter about black history and really how much our people have contributed to this country in general. I learned about Black Wall Street literally for the first time this year. I learned about different slave owners and how they would treat our people, and just, it's heartbreaking stuff, and it's just like, why was I never even taught some of these things in school? Nonetheless, a lot of this time I've spent reflecting about the things I experienced in high school, things that was said to me, and a lot of things that I watched, specifically my dark-skinned friends experienced. One of my friends in high school, his brother had the nickname Darkness because he was dark-skinned, beautiful, rich, dark-skinned, and he literally, that was his nickname, and people called him that, and it was just accepted, and like, never once did anyone think, I don't even know who came up with that nickname, but it's just like, do we ever think that maybe that's not appropriate, that maybe that bothers his self-esteem? Like, I remember one time, for example, one of my white friends at the time, she brought me a kind of a coral colored scarf. I was like, oh, thank you, this is so pretty, whatever. And she said, oh yeah, no, I just thought it would really compliment like your beautiful dark skin. And I didn't really think much of the comment because I was like, oh, that's sweet because she's white and I'm black, so she's just, it's a compliment. But then I was like, was it necessary just to bring up my skin? Couldn't have just been pretty just for me because, So basically, I feel like me and my friends, my black friends, can attest to the fact that we experienced a lot of microaggressive racism, whether it be in comments or in jokes, and we let it slide because we didn't realize that in fact those things were wrong. So for years, we didn't say anything. We never voiced truly how those comments made me feel. It wasn't until about my senior year of high school where I truly started to be proud of the fact that I am a black woman, I come from a black woman, and my culture and my people are amazing. I remember when my mom went natural, that kind of started really, like, it furthered my thinking process, like, wow, my mom's going back to her hair in its natural state, something that at the time, I was like, I can't imagine doing that. Like, no, I want my hair straight, this, that, and the third. And it's crazy because, like, the times where I felt most connected to my culture was obviously when I was at church, because I grew up in church all my life and being around my family, so I was always around my culture. But at the same time, as a kid, when you're developing your self-esteem and your confidence and all those things, you spend most of your time in school around your friends. And I didn't have a lot of black friends, like, in school that were, you know, necessarily, I guess, like my friends at church. My black friends in school, since we had, you know, predominantly white and non-black, that's what it was, we were all conditioned to the same thing. Like, we didn't understand and fully know the power of our skin and what it meant to be black in this country. And getting closer to graduating, seeing in the media just how many times my people will die just because of the color of the skin, it really got to me, and I was like, wow, this is the price, this is what it means. I guess the anger stems from the fact that I was silent and no one that was non-black or white ever thought to say anything or stand up or be like, no, this is not right. And also the fact that, like, I have white friends personally that I played basketball with, or like I'm just friends with, we hung out, or even like I even consider some of them family. And to think that at a time where it is imperative that you speak up and use your voice and you're not using it, it bothers me. And for the last few years, I've attended and am a member of a predominantly white church, and I am clearly bothered by the fact that it's really silent on that end, and I haven't really heard a lot of people from my church address it. So it bothers me as a young Christian also as well. Naturally, my first response was anger, and I feel like my stories, like, I was very like adamant, like, you need to speak up, this, that, and third. And now I realize the danger, obviously, in forcing people that do not know or understand what's going on to say something, because now I've opened the floor for them to say something very ignorant or uneducated. After I had my time to feel angry, which is justified. If you are black and you have been angry, sad, upset, all those things are valid. What we are experiencing and seeing is something that has been going on in our country and has been an issue for hundreds of years, and it's just clear and blatant, and at a point in time, because we have cameras, we have social media, we can no longer ignore it. All these feelings and how we process it are valid. But moving forward, I realized, you know what? Even though there are quite a few people I know that are white or non-black that have chosen to be silent still, and we are almost 3 weeks in to pretty much the revolution, girl. I have had a handful of people that are non-black and white that some of them I never, like, I haven't spoke to in years. We didn't really, maybe we weren't even really friends or whatever. Having people personally contact and be like, hey, are you okay? Like, one of my good friends who was white, she reached out to me. She was like, hey, are you okay? How are you dealing with this? And also she asked, what are ways I can help? So another friend that I have that is white who serves in the military, he asked me, hey, your post on Facebook really helped me. What are ways that I can actually do to help? Because I feel like me saying that I'm with you doesn't do anything, doesn't change anything. So what can I actually physically do? Another person, which I hadn't spoken to in years, we just followed on social media, she was like, I understand that I don't understand what you're going through, but I'm here and I want to help and I want to do whatever I can. I had another non-black friend reach out to me where we not necessarily weren't like, or necessarily our friendship didn't end on the greatest terms, but we were still always cordial with each other, literally came to me and apologized for the things that me and our group of friends, which a majority were black, had to experience. And she said, like, I apologize for the fact that I never said anything, never said, you know, like, this was wrong. Like, I take full accountability for the things that you guys had to experience and the fact that I never spoke up. And when you have people like that I can see my allies, I see them using their voice, using their platforms, asking what they can do to help, being specific, and it's like, how can I sit here and focus so much on the people that are still choosing, blatantly at this point, to be ignorant? If you don't know what's going on, that is just failure to acknowledge what is right in front of you, and that's just what it is. So I'm like, I can no longer put my energy into that. You know what I mean? I have to focus on getting the information out, putting out ways to help, and the people that are ready to have the conversation, we can have the conversation. You're ready to speak up, you see past your privilege, you want to help, you want to donate. That's what I got to focus on, because I feel like I get much more done personally when I'm not angry. Obviously, you can use it to fuel you and, you know, help you reach your goals, but I was like, I gotta be in a positive headspace in order for me to clearly get my message across my social media platforms, especially since I have a demographic of people that I know aren't all black. I was like, let me effectively get my way across without sounding angry. Because of my allies, because I realized the importance of being able to effectively get my point across, and the importance of just being able to have the conversation and not inviting ignorance into what we have going on, that's why I've been able to move on from it more and more and not let it bother me so much. If anything, what this whole situation has taught me is that I've seen so many millions of people across the world even come together and say with their whole chest, Black Lives Matter. Like, bro, like, that's so beautiful. Like, God should show me, like, the power and what we can do when we come together and we just fight to see change, like, just how impactful that can be. And I've just had to look more at the positive instead of focusing so much on the negative. And even though I have people, you know, like I said, that are still silent, and I know me personally, and that they could have easily reached out to me like everyone else did, they didn't. And that's the reality of it. And I got to take that with a grain of salt and keep it pushing going forward, because if I focus on the negative, I don't think I can focus on the positive and really see the change that is being made. That is it. I hope this wasn't too long. I hope I got my point across, and I hope that this helps you if you've been struggling with that silence and if it really hurts you deeply. I just hope that it helps you understand and hopefully gives you that push to focus, you know, on our allies, on our part, on our roles, and what we can do as we still fight to see change. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Don't forget to click that bell so that you get notified every single time that I post. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time with another video.